Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi Tala WABARAKATUHU. So today's video we'll be doing a continuation from the story time last month of Jesus, and we'll be going on to the next chapter inshallah. So we may begin inshallah. Now we're going to be reading the doctrine of the Trinity. Let's get it inshallah. The doctrine of the Trinity. When it comes to the nature of God, beliefs differ significantly across the various denominations of Christianity. The most popular belief promoted by the vast majority of churches in the world is that God has a triune nature. This is the doctrine known as the Trinity, which defines God as one being who exists internally as three distinct persons: the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Put simply, it is one God in three persons. The persons of the Trinity are not to be confused. So the Father is not the Son is not the Holy Spirit, and the Holy Spirit is not the Father. All three persons of the Trinity are said to be co-equal and co-eternal, and each is God, whole and entire. However, each person is said to have a different role when it comes to how God relates to the world. For example, in God's plan of salvation for mankind, the Father is said to have sent the Son, Jesus, who died on the cross for the sins of mankind. The Holy Spirit is said to sanctify believers, inspiring Christians in their day-to-day lives. Here is a diagram that is commonly used by the Trinitarians to summarize the doctrine. A key element of the doctrine of the Trinity is the incarnation of God. This teaches that the second person of the Trinity, the Son, took on human flesh in the bodily form of Jesus. Thus, when Mary gave birth to Jesus, God entered into the creation. Jesus is said to be the God-man, who has two natures, one divine, one human. Jesus is said to be both fully God and fully man. As a result of the incarnation, humanity has been permanently incorporated into the Godhead. The Son will forever have an inseparable divine and human nature. Jesus' humanity is not something that can be discarded or dissolved back into the Godhead. Even after his crucifixion, resurrection, and ascension back to the Father, Jesus will forever exist in heaven as a glorified man, albeit God at the same time. Here is a diagram which summarizes the concept. As a Muslim, I was raised to believe in the pure monotheism of Islam that teaches God is one, not only in essence but also in personhood, and that God is distinct from human beings. So, it took me a long time to grasp the Trinitarian concept of God. It turns out that I'm not alone in struggling to grasp the Trinity. According to scholars of Christianity and defenders of the Trinity, many Christians who profess to believe in the Trinity in fact do not understand the doctrine. Dr. James White, one of the foremost apologists for the Trinity today, wrote the following: For many Christians, the Trinity is an abstract principle, a confusing and difficult doctrine that they believe although they are not really sure why in their honest moments. This is evident when one discusses the doctrine with the average Christian. In my experiences of interacting with Christians, a common way of trying to explain the Trinity is the use of elaborate analogies. The following examples are quite commonly put forward. The Trinity is like the three parts of an egg: the shell, the white, and the yolk. The Trinity is like three forms of water: ice, liquid, and vapor. The Trinity is like a man who can exist as a father, a son, and a husband all at the same time. Such analogies, however, are highly problematic. The egg analogy doesn't work because the doctrine of the Trinity states that each person, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, is fully God. One wouldn't say that the shell is fully an egg, the white is fully an egg, or that the yolk is fully an egg. It is only the totality of the three parts, shell, white, and yolk, that makes a complete egg. The water analogy doesn't work either because it implies that God first manifested himself as Father, then as the Son, and then as the Holy Spirit. These forms are temporary and never coexist, thus violating the principle of the doctrine that the persons eternally coexist. Finally, the man analogy also fails to encompass the doctrine of the Trinity. Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit aren't simply three functions or roles of God. They are said to be three distinct persons. The simple fact is that no analogy would ever be complete. Although this is not appreciated by the average Christian that I encounter on a day-to-day basis, it is something that is fully acknowledged by Christian theologians who freely admit the Trinity cannot be explained. Many theologians have abandoned all hope of deriving a deep understanding of the doctrine and have resigned themselves to classifying it as a holy mystery. The Catholic Church states the mystery of the Most Holy Trinity is the central mystery of Christian faith and life. The Catholic Church defines mystery in the theology as something that remains veiled in darkness. The Vatican Council has explained the meaning to be attributed to the term mystery in theology. It lays down that a mystery is a truth which we are not merely incapable of discovering apart from divine revelation, but which, even when revealed, remains hidden by the veil of faith and enveloped. So, to speak by a kind of darkness. Okay guys, so that was part 1 of the Doctrine of the Trinity. We may continue with this part 1 to part 2 next week inshallah and finish the Doctrine of the Trinity. If you did enjoy this video, please don't forget to hit the like button and also press that subscribe button and that bell notification button next to it and click all so that you can get every single notification since I upload a video. There's inshallah going to be many more videos to come. Inshallah, I will see you in the next video. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.